tell you, Airbnb is purely a fraud. The way it operates, I mean, not the concept, right? The concept's pretty cool. People have unused space. They can rent. They can serve the purpose of a hotel. A person doesn't have to go through the sometimes aggravation of booking a hotel. There's nothing available at some sleazy hotel or a Marriott that wants $299 a night for a room that's equivalent to a bench press at an LA Fitness. As far as the smell of it and the size of it and the materials. It's $299 a night, and it's like, ridiculous, right? So hey, Airbnb, $39. Look at this. I got a bed, a little kitchen, a couple of bags of Folgers, right? $39. It's better than $299, right? Right? So in concept, it was great in the beginning, and then obviously, they became regulated, which I call it's like with the tobacco companies when they began taxing cigarettes. It's called a RICO between the government and a corporation. You keep scamming people, but cut us in, the government. I'll be the government in this example. Airbnb, you keep scamming people, but cut me in. I want a piece of the action. I'm going to charge a state and a local tax now on these reservations you can't fulfill. So Airbnb, unlike a hotel, has a couple of drawbacks. Well, now they have the taxes, right? So that's one drawback. The taxes are, to begin with, they're not right. Like I used to stay in a hotel, like I needed a place to live, and I would stay in a hotel, and I'd look at the taxes, and I'm like, it's like more than an apartment. It's like $30 a night. It's kind of a luxury tax. It's not a luxury to stay in a Motel 6 on someone's just to stay in some gross shrink wrapped bed isn't a taxable luxury. The price is so prohibitable. What's the word I'm looking for? Formidable, whatever. Prohibitive to begin with, that the tax should be a negative. They should take 10% off. It should be a subsidy, not a tax. But one of the biggest drawbacks of Airbnb is you don't know what you're staying at. That's definitely the biggest drawback. You have no idea. You're only allowed to see photos of it. Someone could take an outhouse and get good photography of it. They could take one of those porta-johns, put a little throw rug here, a nice little mirror that says home is where the boat is, and take just the right angles, and you'd plunk out $300 a night if the photography was good enough. And you get there, you realize it's a porta-john. What do? Well, if you booked a 12-week reservation at $79 a night with taxes and cleaning fee of $120 a night times 12, what did I say, 12 weeks? 30, 60, 90, 120 days. You get a $14,400 bill. You show up, you realize it's a porta-john, you go to cancel it, and it says, we don't accept cancellations. You're out $14,400 for some nice photography. Hotels give you the money back when you check out. Even if you make a week-long reservation, if you check out 3 days early, you don't get charged for those days you didn't stay. Airbnb not only charges you, they charge the fees and the taxes. They charge phantom taxes. Imagine going to the store to buy something, and then last minute you decide, nah, I'm not going to check it out, but you still get charged the tax just for thinking about buying it. Let's take a look at some of my notes. I'm just so furious I saw that IPO, and I'm like, oh my God, they're coming out now. And I'm not saying the stock's going to go down. This is just telling you the service is a scam. I'm not going to invest in it, and I'm just telling you it's a scam, not telling you the market's going to realize that. It could. all good things do come to an end as a general rule. So I'm in two bank disputes right now with Airbnb. So the last one I went to was flooded, the Airbnb, and I was like, oh no! I got there and it was surrounded by water, and immediately I'm like, oh no! Did I can I cancel? I haven't walked in yet. Can I cancel and say it was inaccessible? That's got to be a good excuse to cancel. It wasn't one of the options. I chose other. Inaccessible. I messaged Airbnb. They haven't written back. If I hit them up like 12 times, they'll finally write something back. But I said the Airbnb was inaccessible. I couldn't get in it. And they were like, you are due a refund of $0.12. Like a $450 reservation. One thing I do now with Airbnb is I rent just the minimum 2 days so that I can at least get inside of it. Once inside, I can always, change it up and say 30, 60 days. But if I want a 90-day reservation, you take a little risk that someone could book, but I want to get in it. I want to make sure it's actually real, And then I'll have to take the risk that I can extend the reservation. I have stayed at one or two Airbnbs out of like 30. I think I've gone to 30 and had to leave, and maybe two or three that actually were legitimate. Hey, we got a barn out back. Nobody's using it. The horses aren't there anymore. My Uncle Ned's a photographer. Aunt Lily makes those little tapestry things. We'll hang them up on the sides of the barn. We'll get that thing I saw at Savers. I almost grabbed it. It said, beach house is the only house. We'll put that up on the wall. Take a couple of photos with my kid's iPhone. That's like high-end photography. Put it up on Airbnb. Hell, we'll give them a continental breakfast too. Leave out a couple of Dannon yogurts and a banana. My wife's had those Dannon yogurts in the fridge for 3 years. She ain't gonna eat them. Give them to the Airbnb guests, So, one of the biggest problems with Airbnb is there's no quality control at all. There's no on-site inspectors. You should be able to send like a local delegate out to make sure the place is real, pay a small fee, and they just walk in and report that, hey, it's surrounded by a moat, you can't access it, renter beware, something like that. The review system doesn't really work. I mean, nobody leaves a bad review anymore. If you go to Yelp and you look up Taco Bell, it's like, 5 stars across the board, It doesn't matter what the place is. You could walk into a restaurant and they could stab you, and everyone who gets stabbed will leave and go on Yelp and give it at least 4.7 stars. People don't want to, there's a negative, people don't want to leave bad reviews because then they get a bad review. And it just creates this negative atmosphere for them and their accounts. And so everyone's just like, oh, it was great. I really recommend them. I'll never go back myself. I don't want to say anything bad and be one of those people. So I'll just say it was really amazing. And it's just terrific. It was so historic. Historic's like my new favorite word to describe something really old and gross. I'm not the Humane Society. I don't want to stay in something with 500-year-old spiders, and mold that's been there since the Paleolithic era, and a place that maybe housed slaves or other, indentured workers 3 centuries ago, because it's historic. I'd rather modern, So, zero quality control, no purchase protection. Anyone can go on and rent anything. It could be a barn in their backyard. went to one not long ago in Narragansett, and they were renting their upstairs. Absolutely. The photos was like something out of a Rembrandt scenario. And it didn't look that bad. They had nice manicured gardens and everything, but you start to get a little closer, you see, the swing sets and a garbage bag, upstairs, it's like everything was wrapped to go. The upstairs, it was a really poorly designed and built house. Like when you walked, every floor went. Stinky, of course, pets, smells, mold, the whole kit and caboodle. And I hear them downstairs. They're watching the TV loud at night, and they're like, ha 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 ha. And you get that sometimes in a hotel too. Don't get me wrong. There's a little more recourse in a hotel. I told them, hey, it's a little tough to sleep. They're a little loud down there at night. Maybe we can cut this, because I'd made like a 3-week reservation. I was like, maybe we can cut this short. We got they just got so upset so quick with me. They're used to everyone replying back and saying, "Oh, Annette was wonderful. Our kids go to the same college. I just can't recommend it enough." And I was like, just trying to be real with them. It's not really working out for me. Next thing you know, they got the cops involved, the restraining order. I can't go to the property. It's like, I don't want to go to the property, but I'm glad you gave me a restraining order, because now the property is inaccessible, which means I get a refund, right? Airbnb? Wrong. I was like, wait a second, guys. They won't even let me stay there. Not that I want to, right? Because they're cackling all night long. But they won't even let me come back. They're re-renting it, and you're going to charge me for the rest of the week and another week and the taxes? And I can't even stay there? You have to cancel within 48 hours on the platform. Ah. So now they're just, I was like, it just kind of hit me especially the most recent one where I actually couldn't even get into the place. It hit me that they're just stealing now. They're like, basically, is it blue collar or white collar? I don't even know. This, I feel like, is blue collar. I feel like they're just stealing at this point. They gave up on just being, kind of bad about refunds, and now they're just like, let's just rob people. Hey, look at this beautiful place, $69 a night. How can you say no? Click. Oh, got your credit card. Isn't real. Place doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Hey, Nebraska, you want your 16% taxes? Right here. Just protect us when it comes down to the disputes with the bank. We'll keep lining your pockets with these checks. No, you're going to love it. It's great. Yeah, your expiration date, please. Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely terrific. Look at the reviews. 5 stars. Everything's amazing. CVV code, please. Great. And just hit the submit button, and we'll get you started on your reservation. It's fake. It's not real. We got your money. That was great. So, yeah, well, maybe that scam will work again in a month or two on you. You'll probably think it was your fault, and you'll forget and just maybe give us another go. Expiration, CVV. Just click submit, and you'll be at the most beautiful place you could imagine for a lousy $69 a night. Can you say no to that? No, you can't, and call yourself sane. It's like, I am a bit of a glutton, but it's just such a beautiful concept, and I keep buying into it over and over again. And really all it needs, and I'm sure it can't go on more than another couple of years before, especially as a publicly traded company where it starts to, the stories start to come out, the PR department can't suppress them anymore. The stories start to come out that people are getting fake rentals and getting charged for them. And Airbnb support isn't allowed to think outside the box. They'll have to do something. Probably, I would probably assume the only thing that makes sense is on site inspection of some kind to validate the property is accessible, is livable, etc. Maybe they'll incorporate the city inspectors they're paying taxes to pop in and check out the place. They'll probably approve anything anyway, so it's perfect.